We are live. We are live. Let's check that all is working correctly. This, let's see. We are live. Let's check that all is working correctly. Okay. This, hello, hello. We are live. Let's check that all is working. All is perfect. So correctly, let's start this streaming. Good. There's a little delay, but that's okay. Now, there we go. So, we arrived here up to at the end of point 11. So now we go to the following point, which is 12. Here. The question then arises. So what did we do actually in the previous sessions of this streaming? We have been reading this book, and now we have read this book up to this point. Let me even start the recording. So we have the recording. Okay, good. Now we are reading this book, which is a very interesting manuscript by Stölzel, which teaches us how to write a bass over a melody. So we start from a melody, how to write a monophone, a single melody, and then we add the bass. How to create a bass using fifths, octaves, and thirds. And now the new thing is that we are reading the translation, the original the translation into English from the original. You can find the PDF of the link with this article in the description of this video, or if it's not now, maybe later after the streaming. Let's continue. So we arrived at point 11, and we have the melody plus the bass. So let's see what's happening now. Let's start from this point and let's play again this. Michael Kennedy, thank you for all you do. Great. 8 3 8 5 3 8 5 8 3 5 3 8 3 5 8 5. We start with 5 in order to avoid parallel octaves, so we alternate the octave with the fifth. 5 8 3 8 3 5 8, followed by 3 8 5 3 5 8 5 8. Okay, then let's continue. 12. The question then arises: how is one to invent the middle voices, namely the alto and the tenor? This secret lies in the following three chords, which represent thorough bass figures. So now the point is, how can we add the two middle voices? We have the bass, we have the outer voices, we have to add the two middle voices, the alto and the tenor. The answer lies in these three figures: 8 3 5, so 3 5 8, 8 3 5, and 5 8 3, the three position of basso continuo. The procedure takes the following form. One sets the remaining two figures in the above ordering beneath that figure which is already indicated between the bass and the discant. These serve as the alto and tenor. Our example appears as follows. So basically, if we have the octave between the alto and between the bass and the soprano, we add the 3 and the 5. If we have the fifth, we add the 3 and the octave in order to have a 3-5-8 complete harmony. And as you can see, this is the very interesting thing that Walter Piston will disapprove, which is the fact that we have no, it doesn't talk about any kind of chord. C major, D major, first inversion, root, no root. This way, it doesn't care. This in Italian gesture means I don't care. Just intervals, numbers, that way. And so if we translate this table, which is written with numbers, so the intervals over the bass, with notes, we get this harmonization. Let's play it. 3, 5, 8, 5, 8, 3, 3, 5, 8, 8, 3, 5, that way, but now let's play it without talking so much. F sharp, because now we are in G major, if you remember. And the very interesting thing, if we check this version, this harmonization, is that our author, so Stölzel, treated the diminished fifth, that you can see here, as a consonant, 3, 5, 8. It doesn't care. So, diminished fifth, okay, that's okay. Then, we can even put a 6 here, we know, but why? Because we have the semitone, so he will say this later, but it treats the diminished fifth as a consonant, so without being resolved in any correct way. 14. This is a 4-voice counterpoint. This is a 4-voice composition on the original melody to the chorale text, Jesu meine Zuversicht. It is proper according to the rules of harmony, yet can be made more pleasing through the addition of transitus and other figures. Such figures, which are derived from the few principles, are innumerable. So, based on this, we can add a lot of other things. Passing tones, transitus regularis and irregularis. So, for example, where we can put a connection, let's see. Here it's all stepwise. But here, for example, la, fa, la, sol, fa, re, mi, for example. Then, 15. Space does not permit the listing of rules for the accidentals. Jesu meine Zuversicht, eye cream. Space does not permit the listing of rules for the use of accidentals, key signature other than C major and A minor, which occasionally come into use. One must already have gained proficiency with this topic, so basically practicing basso continuo. Only these should be added. Only this should be added, that to form a scale in every key, the fifth degree required a major third above it, and the second degree requires a minor third above it. So in G major, in C major, for example, the fifth degree needs the major third and the second degree the minor third. Similarly, in any minor key, the fourth and the first degree require a minor third above them, so A minor, D. Fourth degree requires a minor third, and the first degree too, because it's a minor key, re, mi, fa. But in a major key, both fourth and first degree require a major third, right? Good. 16. If the cadences were altered in our melody, two different melodies could result, but we would like to examine them first without altered cadences. So if the cadences were altered in our melody, two different melodies could result, but we would like to examine them first without altered cadences. 17. The second melody is derived from the first in this way. When the alto is made in the discant, so now we have the alto, when the alto is made in the discant, so basically the alto we had now is the top voice, and the discant into the tenor, so it's saying that we have 4 voices, tenor, alto, do we have 3 things? No, tenor, alto, great time for counterpoint, right? Let's take a PDF so to make it easier. Hello Marcel, how are you? So the first one is, oh, Jay from Colorado, hello. Marcel from Spain, there's the entire word here. Cantus, the discant, so let's say D, discant, altus, tenor, and bassus. The first, so the bass is the bass, you don't change it. This is the first version. Now, the second version, it says the alto is made in the discant, which means that we have the alto here, then the tenor goes there, and the discant goes there. Then, and the bass remains the bass. Another version is this way, so the tenor goes here, then the discant goes here, and the alto goes here. So they turn that way, and the bass remains the bass. Now, let's come back to our figures, to our elements, so we can say that now we have the, it's like to say that we have the chorale in another voice. Now we'll see the example. So the second melody, so the second version, is derived from the first in this way. When the alto is made into the discant, the tenor into the alto, and the discant into the tenor. Or, put another way, when 2 figures are set above the figures belonging to the alto voice in the above 3 chords. In the latter case, a composition looks like this. Here with the numbers, if you want to win the lottery, you have a lot of numbers to choose from, or in notation the setting looks like this, originally in open score with C clef. Okay, see the following page. Interesting, okay, this is because I think that in the manuscript, you have to look at the following page, so turn the page. Here we don't have pages, it should be correct to write scroll the page, but the tablet, the iPad is not something belonging to the 18th century. That way. So now the chorale is in the tenor, actually. One of the other versions. Yes, because the chorale is in the tenor, so the discant in the tenor, because let's take this exactly. So the discant, which takes the chorale, moves from the top voice to the tenor level. And then in the following example, it will be in the alto position. Fa, mi, fa, re, mi, fa, re. We can say from a rule of the octave point of view that this is the inversion, so starting instead of 3-5-8, starting in another position. Instead of the first position, the third position with the fifth at the top. Fa, mi, fa, re, mi, fa, re, la, fa, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. And very interesting, it does not resolve the cadence with the clausula cantizans. Why? According to the principle that we have 5-8-3 and 8-3-5. This is very bad if you want to do a correct chorale harmonization. Here you need at least this. But these are rules for beginners, so they make sense in a gradually learning didactical framework. Next phrase, fa, fa, la. With the mi and tone, the diminished fifth is really harsh. Fa, la, fa, la, 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 sol, mi. It's very unpleasant. It's more unpleasant than reading Walter Piston for 10 days consecutively. Fa, fa, la, 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 sol, and then moves down. So re, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re. In the tenor, mi, fa, re, mi, fa, re, do. Or moving up. Clausola formalis perfettissima. Bravo. Now you'll tell me, but don't search and don't check on Google. So tell me what you remember. Who is the composer? The composer, yes, because it's even a composer and musician who talks about the clausola formalis perfettissima. By the way, the third melody derives from the first one in this way. When namely the tenor is made into the discant into the tenor, the alto into the tenor che al mercato mio padre comprò. Or, put another way, when two figures are set above the figures belonging to the tenor voice in the above three chords, in this case the harmony would appear thus. So, in other words, very simple, the third setting, so the discant now goes in the middle, and if we have, for example, the octave here, we'll put the 3 or the 5 like this, or in another way. It makes much more sense if we have the octave, for example, that way, to have the third above and the fifth below, that way. Andrea, hello. Okay, so here, if you want to win the lottery, there are other numbers you can try, you can experiment, or if you are a musician, you can read from the score. So now we have the chorale in the middle note. I don't know, is Riccardo Coclearis a valid answer? No, the valid answer is Walter, in the Musical Lexicon. This is not good. Fa, mi, fa, re, mi, fa, re. Now the chorale is in the alto. Fa, mi, fa, re. Fa, mi, fa, re, mi, fa, re. La, fa, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, mi, fa, re, mi, fa, re, do. This is a mistake because we cannot have a G, but that's a F. Even if you check the previous bass, it's okay. But if one really wanted to use these melodies, the clausole would need to be altered, specifically those in which the melody closes in the first degree of the key, so especially at the end, in order to have, Marcel, the clausola formalis perfettissima. We need not address those clausole closing. Porca. This just falls down, because I said too many times Walter Piston, so now he's scared. But if one really wanted to use this melody, the clausole would need to be altered, specifically those in which the melody closes, right? Closes in the first degree of the key, so the end of each phrase. We need not address those clausole closing in the fifth. So we need not address those clausole closing in the fifth. Let's see what does it mean. This topic, together with the use of sixths and dissonances, okay, is omitted here in order that the amateur not be confused regarding basic foundational knowledge. 20. Nevertheless, this gives reason to observe in greater detail the wonderful and invariable harmonic inversion of the three pitches of the trias harmonica, and to praise the God for order in this regard. The accompaniment of the sixth is as followed. Wonderful, because it says this topic, together with the use of sixths and dissonances, is omitted here. The accompaniment of the sixth is as follows. Incredible. Okay. So it's like to say, I won't show you a bottle of water. This is a bottle of water. This way. So 3, 6, 8, order 6 to 6. So how can we use the 60s? This way, 3, 6, 3, 8, 6, 3, for example, 8, 6, 3. Yes, we can double the bass. We can double the bass, even if it is the third. It doesn't matter. 6, 3, 6. Or then 6, 8, 3, which is the inversion 6, 8, 3, or 3, 6, 3. Und, so end, 3, 6, 8, 3, 6, 8, and stop. We don't have another example. Okay, the bass must ascend and the melody must descend. If we have 6, 3, 6, so let's see the first example. 6, 3, 6. Let's take B. 6, 3, 6. The bass must ascend and the melody must descend. But wait a moment. I don't get the framework of this. Now there are dissonances here. So the use of dissonances. So wait a moment. 6, 3, 6. 3, 6, 3. But this is outside. So 3, 5, 6. Okay. So no. Here is talking in general how to use 60s. 3, 6, 3. 3, 6, 3 or 6, 3, 6. 6, 8, 3. But when we have 3, 5, 6 or 6, 3, 5, so the sixth with the fifth in any position, the bass must ascend and the melody descend, which means that in that case the bass must ascend like degree 4, 5, 6, 5. Why this? Because when we have the 5, 6, the 5, 6 harmony implies a dissonance. This dissonance is the 7, 6 or the 2, 3. Let's write this very quickly. The 7, 6. So this. Mi, fa, sol, do. 6, 3, for example. And as you can see, these two voices create the 7th, 6. So here we have preparation, suspension, and resolution. Sol, la, sol, and then this. So the melody, the bass must ascend and the melody must descend. Of course, because A goes to G and C goes to B. So if we have the melody singing A or D, it descends. The other voice remains there. No, here. Okay. I don't know what does it mean with the cut, with the vertical cut. Okay. It is unclear why 365 is crossed out and then rewritten on the right side of the line. Okay, because it's cut and then rewritten. We don't know. Then dissonances here. Let's see. 35. Okay. The top row of this table seems to imply a progression, wherein the vertical lines function as bar lines. But this is illogical, since the bass pitches are undefined. Of course, one could even infer a bass line if one assumes that the syncopatio dissonances must be prepared, but this seems unlikely. Instead, vertical columns seems to show doubling options for the various kinds of dissonances. Oddly, Not all harmonies include the sixth, the supposed topic of this section. Notably, this table marks the first instance of the phrase tied below, unten gebunden. Its analog being tied above, oben gebunden. Both phrases refer to the location of the tied voice in the syncopatio, either in the bass or in an upper voice. 363. Where we can get 359, 8, or 573. Let's take another degree. So here we have the fifth, the seventh, and the third. This. And this. Then. But this is very interesting. 3, 8, 7, 6. 3, 8, 7, 6 in the top. Yeah, the second is illogical. I mean, this makes sense if we take the first two bars, let's say. This makes sense. So cadence, clausola cantizans in the bass, mi, fa, because he talked about clausole before. And this is very common, 7, 5, 3, followed by 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, and then fa, mi, that way. Here, this is quite strange because we have 4, 5, 4, 3, so little weird. Let's see, is there any, because there is an asterisk. No, okay, because 4, 5, 4, 3, very strange. 7, 6, so 3, 8, 7, 6, then 4, 5, 4, 3. No, I think that is 8, 5, 4, 3. So if it's talking about clausole, let's see. Maybe something like that, even if not clear at all. Or this is a table that must be read vertically. What do I mean? We mean that we can use the 3, 6, 3 followed by 3, 5, 9, 8, then 5, 7, 3 from another point, because if we do this, mi, fa, 5, 7, 3, then of course it takes the sharp because we are in G major, and the cadence makes sense. Now, the second line, the same thing repeated. So here is 6, 3, 6. Okay. Now 9, 8. If we want the seventh at the top, but 6, 3, 6. So do we have the same thing? With the 7, 6 at the top, Ebelin. Because if we do this, the 7, 6 should be in the alto, or he wants then 3, 8, 7. There's something here which is not so convincing to me. I think it's 8, 3, 7, because 8, 3, 7 makes much more sense. Or what about 7, 7. No, this is something, there is something here which is not so clear to me. And the last case, of course, with a tied bass, because 2, 4, 6, 6, 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, tied bass, clear. Then another example with 5, 6, 3, 9, 8, and then another example of the tied bass. 4, 6, 2, 5, 6, 3. Okay. Addendum to 9 above. The surest thing of modulation is the semitone below the first degree, or the 7th degree of any key, the leading tone, even in the minor mode. Every time one sets a semitone in the melody via the addition of an accidental F, except for the 2 diatonic semitones that occur in every key naturally between degree 7, 1 and 3, 4 in the major, and 2, 3 and 5, 6 in the minor, this is a sign that the key modulates. When a whole tone descent, or semitone ascent follows after the chromatic, so when a whole tone descent or semitone ascent follows after the chromatic 7th, or when it descends by step, when a whole tone descent or semitone ascent follows after the chromatic 7th, when a whole tone descent or semitone ascent follows after the chromatic 7th, or when it descends by step, so the whole tone, then by nature its 7th must ascend. Okay. Ascend, we change the mode, so modulation. Okay, it's clear. It's not clear the way he formulates the phrase. The last ascent also applies to the other semitone below the 4th, between 3 and 4 in major. Okay. Let's see the note. It is not entirely clear what Stölzel means by this passage, but he seems to be referring to the need for chromatic pitches move up by step. I think the same. When the melody ascends by a whole tone instead, so the melody ascends by whole tone instead, or by diatonic semitone, for example F sharp or B C sharp, then the F sharp and the C sharp have a 6 below them. That way we use the 6th. When the melody repeats a tone and the bass ascends by 3rd, when the melody repeats a tone, so a note this case. And the bass ascends by thirds from the octave. The last bass note will have the sixth. 8, 6, or 8, 6. When the melody ascends by semitone, the first note has a sixth below it. When the melody descends by semitone from the first degree and immediately returns to the first degree, the middle note can have the sixth. 1, 2, and 3. The middle note is D, is B, and it can take the fifth, the sixth. That way, or in A minor, when you have fa, La, Sol, La, or Fa, Mi, Fa, you can have the sixth. I agree with that. All 7 degrees may have the sixth, so all 7 degrees may have the sixth below it, with third above its bass note, consecutively ascending as well as descending. 3 voice for Bourdon. But is it talking about the... This is not clear to me at all. All 7 degrees may have the sixth below it with the third, and this is clear. Consecutively ascending as well as ascending. But is it saying ascending 3/6 that way and descending 3/6, so for Bourdon, or is it saying that all the 7 degrees can have the sixth and this sixth with the third can go down this way, opening, or go up like a for Bourdon? Regarding transitus, dissonances, when the voices move stepwise, one note must be good, so consonant, and the other can be false, dissonant, or accented and unaccented. True, but you know, good and bad, buona, cattiva, even in Italian style, especially in counterpoint, they may refer to consonant and dissonant. When 2 voices move parallel, this must occur in thirds or sixths, parallel thirds or sixths. This is the transitus regularis, an accented passing. Irregularis consists of a half note that fills in a third ascending or descending. Irregularis consists of a half note that fills in a third ascending or descending. This way one can be false instead of good, so more than accented or unaccented, it means consonant, dissonant. More generally, the term transitus encompasses the modern passing and neighbor tones. As Christoph Bernhard wrote, transitus it's a blah, 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 which means but porca vacca, when you put some notes this, put the English translation, how can we understand transitus ist erfurden worden? Where is Musicus GPT? Where is Musicus GPT? I need Musicus GPT. Let's see. Let's ask Musicus GPT. Please load. Okay, it's loading because the other phone is not here. Now, hello Musicus GPT, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Always happy to chat about some music or anything else on your mind.
Yes, I have a problem. Can you help me?
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Just let me know what the problem is and we'll figure it out together.
Great. So listen to me. I'm reading this article, okay? And there is a problem. Here there is a German text which is not translated into English because, you know, who wrote this thought that we can understand English, but I don't understand what's written here. I mean, it's in German. Transitus ist erfunden worden. Cavolo. Wait. No, cavolo is not part of the text. Transitus ist erfunden worden, den unisorum oder Sprung der Tertie einer Stimme dosieren. What does it mean in English?
Sure, so that German sentence basically means something like, the transitus was invented to guide the listener or the singer over the string. Yeah, so in a nutshell, it's basically saying that the transitus was invented to kind of lead the ear or the voice over the string or the interval of a third. Basically, it's just explaining that the transitus is there to help navigate that little leap in pitch. So that's the gist of it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. If you've got any more bits and pieces like that or anything else you need, just let me know.
Yes, tell us a joke, please. We want to laugh a little. A joke about choral harmonization.
Oh, absolutely. All right, let's give this a shot. Why did the... Because it wanted everyone to
wait a
resolve
moment.
their
We
different...
didn't hear it. Can you repeat it, please?
Oh, sure thing, no problem at all. So here's the joke again. Why did the choral harmonization get along so well? Because it wanted everyone to resolve their differences in perfect harmony. Hope they gave you a little chuckle.
Oh, another one, please. Another one. This is not the best.
Absolutely, I've got you covered. All right, let's try another one. Why did the chord progression always stay calm in choir practice? Because it knew how to resolve every single tension peacefully. Hopefully that one's a bit more up your belly.
Yes, but you know. Okay, thank you. Now, okay, let's continue. Yet in Stölzel's conception, see directly below, it refers only to the filling in of a third. Heineken, which is not the beer, seems to concur with Stölzel, or Stölzel with Heineken. Same, if Maometto doesn't go to the mountain goes to Maometto. This is the principle. Nit, so Maometto is Italian word of Mohammed. There is an Italian saying which is, if Mohammed doesn't go to the mountain goes to Mohammed. Here, if Heineken doesn't agree to with Stölzel, Stölzel agrees with Heineken. Okay. Nit, on the other hand, discusses passing tones more in terms of interval variation, where even intervals larger. Wait a minute. Nit, on the other hand, discusses passing tones more in terms of interval variations, where even intervals larger than a third can be filled in by step, right? So, transitus regularis, ta-ra-ta, ta-ra-ta. So, consonant, dissonant, consonant, consonant, dissonant, consonant, consonant, dissonant, consonant, or consonant, dissonant, consonant, consonant, dissonant, consonant. This is the way. What is possible regarding transitus notes in fast tempo is not allowed in slow ones. True. In composition, transitus consists of a third and is I'm still thinking to the mountain and Stölzel. In composition, transitus consists of a third and it is either regularis or irregularis. Okay, because in order to put a transitus you need a third. Regularis has the good notes on odd beats, tarantan, but here regularis has the good notes on odd beats, so 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but the irregularis has false note and vice versa. So dissonances on the downbeat, on the odd numbers, on the odd beats. This way. Regularis, so as you can see, if we put these two notes, it's implied this harmony or this harmony. Regularis, as you can see, consonant, dissonant, consonant, one consonant, odd, two even dissonance, three odd consonants, and the same way descending. Three consonant, dissonant, consonant, tense, transitus, irregularis, on the other hand, is consonant, then dissonant on the second beat, on the second note, so the third beat basically, on the odd beat, and the same thing here. So it's not accented or unaccented, but it's merely consonant and dissonant, more specifically. Regarding the proper and natural use of ligature, dissonances, syncopation. Okay, because now there is, another topic which is regarding the proper and natural use of dissonances. And this can be the topic actually of the next streaming about this book. So in the next streaming we talk about ligature, so suspensions. Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. So we'll resume from this point regarding the proper use and natural use of ligature, dissonance, syncopation. Very nice. So let's continue in the next streaming our journey together. I found another interesting way to there are some things I want to stream, but for some specific reason that I don't tell here, for other specific reason, I'll do only on Patreon, because now Patreon gives the possibility to do streaming directly on there and not necessarily without an external device, even if I can do it on YouTube, and that's okay. So join Patreon, because there are a lot of things every day to learn, something extra. Every day I put something, I share a video or an analysis, an article. We are even reading repairs and other things. Go there, because this way you can support our project. Join our beautiful community of Musici Prattici. It costs like a cappuccino per month. Don't drink the cappuccino after 2 p.m. otherwise you won't be accepted in Italy. And join there, you'll find our community and extra new things every day, to learn something every day, because at the end this is the secret. And now, in order to conclude, I want to test if this works. Let's see. This one. Ligatures, mensurations, modus, tempus, and prolazio, proportions, segni contrassegni, tactus, and color. No modern transcriptions, only historical scores. Learn to read white mensural notation without relying on any transcription, but directly from the Renaissance, directly from the original sources. Click the link and discover Cantus Figuratus, the third level of the Musicus Practicus Renaissance path, and learn to read music as if you had lived in the Renaissance. Okay, because I want to see if it works, if you can clearly hear the audio and how compared to the audio level. And let's see you in the next live streaming. Bye.